Hello again, and welcome back to another quick tutorial today featuring Want2Scrap's Nestabling and Nestaboard. But before I get started, I want to tell you how excited I am to be the newest member of Want2Scrap's design team. They have some very talented ladies on this team, so it's an honor for me for sure. So let's get started. After I decided what cardstock I wanted to use on my project, I started looking through my Nestabling and my Nestaboard. Now, the Nestabling's not shown in this picture, but the Nestaboard is at the top of the image. Isn't it cool how it coordinates with Spellbinder's die templates? I didn't cut it. It came just as you see it here, ready to use right out of the package. It's like a chipboard, but better. I use glue to adhere my cardstock to both pieces of the Nestaboard. Anytime I use glue, I really try to get as close to the edges as I can of my cardstock so it won't lift off over time, and then a bone folder to smooth the glue out underneath. Ah, there's the bling. Again, see how it coordinates with Spellbinder's die templates? Here's a couple things I like about the Nestabling. It comes in lots of different colors. You can get bling or you can get pearls. But here's the one thing I thought was really cool. The bling on each layer is different in size. Yeah, the layer to fit your largest die has the largest bling, while the small layer in the center has much smaller bling. Yeah, they've done all the figuring out for us. Pretty cool, don't you think? One thing I do when I'm making a project is, once I have everything picked out that I know I want to use, I lay it all out in front of me without attaching anything so I can see if I'm on track or not. I may do this several times before I'm finished. I distressed the cardstock I wanted distressed. I used my sewing machine to sew a couple of times around the top layer of cardstock shown here. What I think is so funny is I used to be so afraid to sew on cardstock, but not anymore. I just go for it. But don't get me wrong, there are times when sewing straight is really necessary, but not in this case. Here I am again, just checking to see if I'm on track. Now I want to ink around the outside edges of my die. Yes, I use a Q-tip and sometimes a cotton ball. On the left side of my die, I have already applied ink, but on the right, you can still see a thin white line. That's what happens sometimes when you cut cardstock, but I want it to blend more with the Nestaboard, so I make sure and add a good layer of ink to the edges. After looking at all the supplies I wanted to use, I thought the center was much too bright, so I applied some ink that I thought would look good. If you notice, the center is kind of messy, but when I add my flowers, you won't see that. Plus, you won't see the white through the flowers. This just helps your arrangement look much fuller. I cut and embossed my leaves, and again, using a Q-tip, I applied my inks for shading. I really shade more in the center than I do on the ends. Cut your leaves as shown. Now shape your leaves. Now we're getting ready to apply our Nestabling. I'm a visual person, so I cut my bling out while it was still on the plastic so I could see what it would look like while it's on my project. This is something that you don't have to do, and I probably won't do it again in the future, but I did it this time. Peel the bling off the plastic. I was pretty surprised at how well the bling held its shape, which makes it easy to apply to your die. Because the bling holds its shape so well, it made it pretty easy to follow along the shape of the die. Now that the Nestabling is on the die, I just used my fingers to press it down because there's adhesive under the bling. Now it's secure. Using my tweezers, I add another layer. And here is everything added to the center, and my card is finished. Thanks for watching today, and for a complete list of supplies with links, please visit my blog at Linda's Works of Art. Thanks again.